Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm John,
And I'm Lizzie.
and this is Harry Potter and the First Time Reader.
Second time
Psych.
reader.
We're already in book 6, so I can't get in book 6. And we're just gonna give up. All right, we're doing 4 more chapters as we are through the entirety of this book. So 17, 18, 19, and 20 are the subjects of this podcast. And let's start with a great chapter, one of the best ones in the book, I think, which is the sluggish memory.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a quick summary of this.
So the chapter starts out, they're getting apparition lessons. Apparition?
You can say it again. You can say it however you want to say it. It could be morphin, morphine. It could be...
He's more fine.
Marvolo. It could be apparition or apparition.
So after that, then Harry goes to Dumbledore's lesson, and they have a little conversation about Snape and the Minister and Malfoy, and then they go into Morphin's memory of Tom Riddle coming into the Gaunt House and then talking to Morphin in Parseltongue or Parselmouth.
Yeah.
I don't know which one's the language.
He's a Parselmouth and they speak Parseltongue.
Okay. So they spoke in Parseltongue, and then after hearing about his family from Morphin and about his mom and his dad, he goes across the street, Tom Riddle does, kills his parents, and then goes back to Morphin, alters his memory, makes him think he killed him.
Yeah.
Boom.
And then do they go into another memory?
I believe so.
Which is what?
I don't know.
So this is I think this is like the crux of the whole chapter. So this is
Slughorn's memory.
Slughorn's memory, which seems really weird. We'll talk about some questions that we have for that. Slughorn's memory seems a little strange.
Because they... Oh no. That's atrocious. Slughorn... Tom Riddle asks Slughorn what's a Horcrux, and then he's like, I don't know anything about Horcruxes.
Yeah, he freaks out.
Yeah. And then obviously the memory's altered. Like, that's not what happened.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming, leaving the summary side of this, I'm assuming that Slughorn told him about Horcruxes, and then he probably like internally blames himself for Voldemort's rise to power.
Interesting. Okay. Why do you think that he told him about Horcruxes though? Like, what in this chapter led you to believe that?
It's just like the whole storyline so far, because if you were the one and you knew it, that you told Lord Voldemort how to become Lord Voldemort, you're gonna hate yourself. So he's probably like, I don't know if he washed his own memory of it and like he changed it in his own way, but I feel like it's hard not to blame yourself for his rise to power if you were the one that told him how to like split your soul and live eternally.
Yeah. So just like overbearing guilt.
Yeah. But also, why does Slughorn know what Horcruxes are and no one else does, and it's not written in the books?
Okay, which is a fair question. Do you think that other people know what Horcruxes are? They just don't talk about it. Like, do you think all the professors would know what a Horcrux is, but they just don't really want to talk about it? Or do you think it's really like subsets of groups, small groups? Like, is Slughorn really the only professor at the school right now who knows about Horcruxes? And then why does he know about Horcruxes?
I think a lot of people know about Horcruxes. I don't know how you come about that knowledge. I feel like it's... Like, I feel like everyone who works for the Ministry would know what a Horcrux is, like the Weasleys.
Okay.
I think the Malfoys might... I don't know. Because I want to say the Dark Wizards do, but I feel like they don't know what a Horcrux is. But I think all the professors would.
Yeah. I would say maybe some of the professors do. I don't think it's insanely common knowledge. I don't really know what to equate it with in the Muggle world, but I feel like Slughorn is in a unique brand of people here that doesn't really know, or that really knows what it is. I think some of I would say McGonagall probably knows what a Horcrux is, but she's noble and she's not going to tell anybody any information about it. It's like she did her own research. She knows how reprehensible it is, and so she's like, done. I think the brilliance of Tom, or not the brilliance, like the psychopathicness of Tom Riddle is that he knew which professor to go for to get the information.
But why does Slughorn know what it is?
Yeah, it's a great question. Why?
Is he a dark wizard?
Could be.
I guess so. He's a Slytherin.
It's a really all Slytherins are dark. It's
No.
it's actually a really interesting question. I it might be answered later. So
And why, if you knew that, would you tell it to a student anyway? Like
because he sees the potential in Tom. Tom knows exactly
the
what he's doing.
potential to what? Like live
Not the potential,
eternally?
no,
Take
but-
over the world?
Tom, I think he sees Tom Riddle right now and sees this kid is one of the best students the school has ever seen. He's like, I don't want to say he's like better than Hermione, but he was an incredible student. He was doing magic far outside the bounds of normal students. And like he had like an aura about him. People were following him. He had like this raw fame and this raw potential. And I think Slughorn saw that and said, I want this kid on my side. So even if this information is evil, I'm still going to give it to him. So I have him on my side. So when he becomes great, he's going to remember me. Remember, like I was like his favorite. I gave him all this information. Slughorn's a weird guy with that. I feel like his motivation is just a little sleazy and a little slimy.
Yeah.
But I think that's his motivation.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a good question though. What would you like to apparate?
I would.
Yeah, it'd be so
I
nice.
think it'd be fun and convenient.
Super convenient.
But I definitely would splinch myself several times at the beginning.
I wouldn't like the feeling of it. Like feels like a hook behind your navel or whatever they say.
Yeah.
That feels a little weird.
Have you been on those like carnival rides where they just spin really fast and you
Yeah.
just get like pulled to the back?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like it would feel like.
That's a good one. I like little like some G forces going on
Yeah.
right there. I kind of like that. Yeah, I definitely don't know if I would pass first time, but so there's some other stuff that happens in this chapter. There's this line where it says, so they still don't know where you go, asked Harry, hoping for more information on this intriguing subject. But Dumbledore merely smiled over the top of his half-moon spectacles. No, they don't. And the time is not quite right for you to know either. Now, I suggest we press on unless there's anything else. It says, Dumbledore listened to Harry's story with an impassive face when he tells him the whole story. When Harry had finished, he did not speak for a few moments, then said, "Thank you for telling me this, Harry. But I suggest that you put it out of your mind. I do not think that it is of great importance." "Not of great importance?" repeated Harry incredulously. "Professor, did you understand?" "Yes, Harry. Blessed as I am with extraordinary brain power, I understood everything you told me," said Dumbledore a little sharply. "I think you might even consider the possibility that I understood more than you did. Again, I am glad that you have confided in me. But let me reassure you that you have not told me anything that causes me disquiet." What do you think of Dumbledore and Harry's relationship here? Do you think that it's like, why doesn't Dumbledore just say what's happening?
I don't know. I think the whole approach to getting Harry up to speed on this stuff is like completely wrong because he doesn't.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Harry knows like what's important in this whole like being the chosen one, and then also like Dumbledore's not really telling him. He's just giving him memories and like with Voldemort.
Is it important that Harry comes into this knowledge on his own?
There's like no way for him to do it on his own though. I think he needs Dumbledore to give him all this information, but then like Harry's not prioritizing it when he's like going to Slughorn to get his memory back, or he's like, "Oh, Quidditch is more important." It's like I feel like fundamentally,
you got a war to win, Harry.
Yeah, we need to
focus.
like reboot the circuit. Like it's not. I don't know. But I don't like Dumbledore here anymore. I've gone back to disliking
okay.
him.
Why?
I liked him ever since like I guess like whenever their argument was and they kind of hashed it all out. I've liked him since then, but now I don't like him because he's just being mean.
Why is he being mean?
He's like so egotistical. Like I know everything, and here I am like gonna educate you, but not.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't like his approach. I think he keeps having little jabs at Harry, and he's not giving him information still. I feel.
Yeah, this one. This one is tough because he is giving him information, but he's giving him information at the pace, and maybe not the right pace, at like a pace that Dumbledore deems is necessary. Dumbledore is very wise, so maybe this pace is right. He seems like a really good teacher. If you were in Dumbledore's shoes, what would you do differently?
I don't know. I would bring him along with me more
Okay.
and keep him up to date on what I'm doing and like
But
where.
what is he doing? How do you know it's not insanely dangerous?
I think he's going around collecting memories, which Harry doesn't need to go with him for that, but like
Okay.
he's telling him that. But then I don't know. I'm assuming he's doing things with the Horcruxes too. Maybe going to the Ministry, doing stuff with the Order. But I think Harry's kind of ready to be the chosen one, and like he's kind of like stepping into that, and he thinks he's like come of age for that.
Yeah.
But then he's not given like the opportunities that he can actually start to like do things like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a little dissonance there.
Yeah, it's a great ethical question. And honestly, it's not like you learn like why Dumbledore does this, but it is one of the more contentious areas of discussion in Harry Potter circles is like, did Dumbledore do right how he trained Harry?
Mm-hmm.
Like how everything went about. Because there's like a point to it where you're saying maybe he should be given all the information at once, and Harry needs to parse this out. Dumbledore is still playing the mastermind in this situation, and he thinks he's like, again, I don't think Dumbledore is walking around saying, "Oh, I'm the smartest person, of all time." So like, come at me.
But like, why does he feel the need to have a comeback to Harry when he's like, "Do you really get what I'm saying about Malfoy?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm like the smartest wizard ever." Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. He's being so unnecessarily like personal.
yeah, that's actually
Like
a great point. That's a
jabs.
great point. He could have just said, "Thanks for the information, Harry. I'll definitely take this into consideration." Doesn't have to come with a personal attack.
Yeah.
That's a great point. I have no response to that. It's just a great point. Yeah, Dumbledore's a little weird. But he is giving Harry these memories in at least somewhat of a digestible order. Like if Harry gets all of them, he's going to like, forget small little details here and there. He's going off and he's like also sharing some of these memories with his buddies. So it's like they're able to process through these memories in time for them to get the next one. So like they're thinking through this thing at a pace that I think is a healthy pace. But again, yeah, Dumbledore is really strange. So
Yeah.
Maybe one of the larger questions is, do you think that a memory goes bad? Because we have two weird memories here. Like Morphin's memory, his mind was addled. Is that the actual true and real memory?
I don't know how a memory would go bad. I think you need to like force it into being bad. Like you need to.
Is that what Slughorn did?
I think Slughorn just gaslit himself so much
That's a great way.
that his memory is altered. Like, I don't know. That happens to people in real life too. Like, they can convince themselves of a reality that wasn't true. So I feel like that could do it. And then they just become so convinced of that in their mind that when you take that memory from them, you're getting whatever they believe to be the truth. But I also think you can like brainwash people, and that's happened so much in the books where like you erase their memory. They do that to Muggles when they see magic.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what Tom Riddle did to Morphin, but Slughorn, I think it's like something he did to himself. But I don't think you just like pull out a memory and it sits on the shelf and goes bad. Like.
Yeah. That's actually really. I had never thought about that before, but like. The idea, because I think people, this happens to people not all the time, but it definitely happens to people where they convince themselves of a lie. I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious what is going on in Dumbledore's mind. It reminds me, have you ever seen Shutter Island?
Mm-mm.
Spoiler alert. Never mind then. Well, moving on.
Just say it. Why?
Well, it's like someone convincing themselves of something that is a lie, and so they do like an experimental like trial on this guy because he's convinced himself of something that's wrong, and like to try to assuage himself of some guilt, I guess. But I'm so curious with whether Slughorn is doing that right now, because he doesn't seem to be so beridden by guilt. Like if he did, would he be able to function day to day? He seems like he's like gotten rid of some of his guilt, or like put it to bed so he can like function, which maybe is kind of like okay. That's an interesting idea. I've never really thought about that.
I was wondering too if he thought about Dumbledore trying to pry into his memory from the moment that Dumbledore offered him the job, and like if that was on his mind and that was part of the reason why he didn't want to come.
Yeah,
is because he thought Dumbledore was gonna try to see his memory or whatever, but I don't know, because I don't know when he got the memory from him.
Yeah,
because if that was before the job offer, that would be like, uh-oh, is he trying to babysit me or whatever?
Yeah, for sure.
But then if it's after he's at Hogwarts, it kind of makes sense. But I feel like you'd need a lot more time to convince yourself of like the fake truth. Like I'm assuming that happened like shortly thereafter, or whenever Tom actually made the Horcruxes. So I don't know. I think he's guilty.
Slughorn's a weird dude. I think maybe the last question for this chapter is, why is this memory important though? Dumbledore says this is like the most important memory that he's collected. Why is this so important? What does this tell them?
Slughorn one?
Yeah. What does this tell them that they don't kind of already know?
Well, it's the first mention of Horcruxes.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Dumbledore is just kind of like setting Harry free on this, like, go figure out what a Horcrux is now. Like, go ask Hermione and Ron, and you guys figure that out. See what you need to do. Because I guess once he learns what a Horcrux is, he's going to realize, like, what he has to do. Not that I fully understand that yet either, but yeah, it kind of just felt like he was putting him, like, onto the scent of something, and then he could just go, like, find it by himself.
Yeah, for sure.
But I guess it's an integral piece of the story because that's, I'm assuming, where Tom Riddle learned about Horcruxes and thus gains eternal life.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where that information
Because he's like
kept.
a kid here, right?
Yeah. It's like a student.
Is this the Slug Club meeting, like when
right before, yeah. Before he like isolates them, yeah, it's like I guess it's like kind of like a Slug Club meeting. It's not, yeah, maybe it's like just a little powwow.
A little office hours.
Members of the Slug Club. But again, part of the reason why I love this book right now, up to this point, you just see the inner workings of Voldemort's mind. You see like how he operates. You see like how he like manipulates certain situations. It's like you don't want to deep dive into that. You don't need a deep dive into like why Voldemort is the way that he is, but you like get it, and it's just so fascinating to sit back and go like, oh, that's why he's so strange.
Yeah.
He was like so charming and so winsome when he was a kid. But
I'm surprised he's not bothered by like the people that follow him or the people that are his friends, because he doesn't have any friends and he's a narcissist or whatever he is. But I feel like the people that choose to follow him, like there was a list of whatever attributes they had, and I was like, if those people were following me around, I feel like they're just like leeching off of me.
Yeah,
like
seriously.
I don't know, like I feel like why would that not bother him?
Yeah,
I guess because he's like their ringleader, and he likes power. But why would you want to be like the power over the people that are like the weakest and like the worst? You know? Why wouldn't you want to have the power over like Harry, Cedric, like those type of people?
well, it depends on what you're defining as weakest. I like who of Voldemort's followers are weak.
I don't know, but it was saying like I forget, like there's a paragraph where it's like the people that can't do magic so well, like want to learn how to execute it better, like the ones that just need to like follow around. I don't know.
They were, I think it said there was, yeah. So there's definitely those lines in there. So people are attracted to him because he has power, and the weak are attracted to that because they think by some means of this guy obtaining power, then he'll give them more strength and more power. So they're attracted to him for that reason. And then there's also a line of like these people, these cruel people, looking for more refined ways of cruelty. That's a pretty scary line too, because there's there's like not good, there's very skilled wizards that are joining his side so that they can refine their tactics of cruelty and they can refine the evil things that they do. So there's like very skilled wizards that are jumping in with this cause. Cause is a weird way to put it, but yeah. But the idea of Horcruxes kind of doesn't get explained in the next chapter, but they do a little bit of a deep dive on the next chapter, which is birthday surprises. And this is I'll do a quick summary of this one. They give a little information on this. They have a discussion about Malfoy, and then all of a sudden Ron almost dies, which is scintillating. The love potion. Again, love potion is reprehensible.
But the love potion didn't kill him. It was the meat, for sure. Whatever else he had. Yeah, I like that was so funny though. I get that you still hate love potions, but
it was I
don't know.
It's a little comedic relief because Ron lives. If Ron died at the end, imagine the chapter ends with Ron dying there.
But he's not dying because of the love potion.
Yeah, for sure.
That's like gonna last 3 hours and then it's over.
For sure, but it was a really strong love potion and it put Ron in this position. But yeah, I just think about if this chapter ended and Ron actually died in this chapter, how crazy of a gut punch this would have been. Like all out of nowhere, one of the Weasleys, Harry's best friend, just dies. Like what is going on after that? That'd be crazy.
I feel like I didn't experience that fully because I know that he lives.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, if I didn't know that, I would probably be freaking out.
And then I don't know. Again, there's not a ton of talking points in this chapter, but one is where's Malfoy going? They're really curious about what Malfoy is doing and where he's off to.
I don't know. Okay, so there's like those 2 girls that are with him, and then there's like the random girl in the hallway with the scale.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I don't know what's happening, but I think they're involved too.
And they're like,
and then Crabbe and Goyle they don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And then Harry's like, I would tell my friends what I would do. But I don't know. He's trying to accomplish his mission. I thought maybe his mission is just like cause enough mayhem in Hogwarts to get Dumbledore kicked out.
Ooh.
And then that's why it could be dangerous because like any of the disruptions you're causing could come back to you. And then like Malfoy could get detention.
Interesting.
Or something like that. Because there was some line in there about like taking over Hogwarts or getting Dumbledore sacked.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I wonder if that's what Malfoy's trying to do.
Huh.
But that seems a little too light for an unbreakable vow and for Snape to get involved. So I don't think that's like a perfect theory, but because he's not killing anyone. He's just, I'm assuming like the Locket situation and the poison are due to Malfoy.
But if they're due to Malfoy, then he's trying to kill people.
Yeah. But in killing people, the goal could just be like get Hogwarts shut down again. Because that's kind of what happened like before Umbridge came, I think.
Yeah.
Was just like everything was going wrong. And then families will start pulling their kids out. And then Hogwarts falls.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's that. I don't know.
It's a wrap. Be an interesting theory. Just cause mayhem at the
Project
at
Mayhem.
Hogwarts.
I don't know. I don't think that's correct. but that is a thought I had. Because obviously he is trying to kill people if he's doing the necklace thing and the poison.
Mm-hmm.
But the poison was meant for Dumbledore.
Yeah.
And Slughorn was surprised. So somebody gave it to Slughorn to give to Dumbledore. Or they knew that Slughorn was going to give it to Dumbledore and they poisoned it. And I feel like Malfoy could have done that. maybe at the party that Slughorn had.
Okay.
I don't know.
They'd be pretty weak ways to like kill Dumbledore though. Like, but neither of them work. They have a very small percentage of working. So I don't know. That one seems. I'm not gonna like say far fetched, but yeah, far fetched because like if Slughorn has this mead, the only way that Dumbledore would die is if Slughorn gifted him this mead, and Dumbledore decided to down it one night.
Yeah, and who would be with Slughorn that knows
Yeah.
that he's gonna give it to Dumbledore?
And like I feel like Dumbledore is maybe like not paranoid, but like testing the gifts that are given to him, even from people that he trusts, because he's like, there's probably something suspicious going on.
Yeah, that's true. The professors can't be trusted.
Yeah, right.
We've since learned.
It's sad. Anything else in this chapter?
What is this? 18? I don't think so. Just that essence of rue is an antidote to a poison, and I'm gonna tuck that in my mind. I don't know.
It comes back in a major way, Lizzie.
Yeah, right. There's gonna be like some essence of rue growing down like the side of the road. They're all gonna pick it.
That'd be great. It's a huge part of this. It's a huge.
Yeah. I think the story rests on that fact, actually.
All right, let's go to with that. Maybe we'll see essence or later. But let's go to chapter 19, which is Elf Tales.
Yeah, what happens here? It's at the very end that he.
Yeah, there's not a ton that happens in this chapter, but he gets Dobby and Creature to tail Malfoy
In like the last 4 pages of the
Yeah.
chapter.
Yeah. Everything else that
It's
happens before,
Quidditch.
yeah, is Quidditch, and it's just like not like normal life, but it's like they have to have like some school chapters.
Do you like this chapter because it's Quidditch?
Of course. I also love
What
the
do you
chapters.
think about this team, actually?
What, they're the
With
Gryffindor team?
McLaren or whatever his name is?
Cormac McLagan. I think they are lacking in. I don't want to say good leadership because I do think Harry is a good leader, but I'll say good leadership. If they have man, now you're gonna pull me down a rabbit hole of thinking how
Go
they can
ahead.
improve this team. I think Ginny needs to be the captain.
Mm.
I think Ginny commands the respect of more people than Harry at this moment.
I think
in a weird way.
This is totally unrelated, but I think Ginny and Lee Jordan should be together.
gosh.
Would that not be like a power
That
couple?
would be such a great power couple. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
that would be fantastic. Wow, I love that actually. That's great. And then Lee Jordan could become one of the become brothers,
Weasley. I know.
brother with his buddies.
Anyway, back to what you were saying.
Yeah, I think this team is dysfunctional. I think they have a lot of good pieces. Even Cormac, I think, is actually like an adept player. I think he can be good, but he needs to be reined in. There's all sorts of sports strategies. My favorite team of all time is the San Antonio Spurs. And this is different because this isn't like a school team. So it's harder to just coach a bunch of kids that you're like given rather than like hand selecting. But the Spurs don't take people who with attitude problems. They're like notorious for that. They're not the one team in the NBA, but they're one of the teams in the NBA that like four runners, and they mainly took like European guys because a lot of American guys just had this attitude problem. They thought
I'm
they were
glad
the
you said
best.
NBA because I was totally
Yeah.
lost.
Sorry, I gotcha. And they've had so much success with that because they've taken these players who have checked their ego at the door,
Mhm.
and it's hard to do that because Cormac has such an ego. Ron has an anti-ego, but he really has like a big ego as well. When he plays well, he thinks he's like the bee's
Yeah.
knees. When he doesn't,
True.
he's so self degrading, and it's pretty destructive with Ron. They need to have a confidence lesson. Like some of the people on their team need to be taken down a few rungs. Some of them need to be taken up a few rungs. The core of their team, the people who have been on their team for a while, like Peaks and Coot, good, like they're good role player beaters. Love them. Their chasers are fantastic. They have no problem on that front. But their keeper is like the real problem. And if you can, honestly, if I was the captain, I wouldn't take either of those guys, and I would like, I don't know, get someone who just can steadily improve the whole season and just
Yeah.
plop him in there, and then you're good.
Is Ginny old enough to be captain though? Don't you have to be like
Yeah.
a 6th year?
Maybe. I don't think you have to be a 6th year. I think it's just like whoever naturally, because Oliver Wood was a captain in Harry's first year, and he was a 5th year.
Good old Oliver.
Good old Ollie.
Luna commenting.
It's the best. Yeah,
Commentating. That was so funny.
Yeah.
I love her.
She needs to do color commentary for every single game. That was so great. Yeah, she's like I would love to just actually be there in real life, listening to her do commentary on the game.
I think it's a smart plan to send the elves to do the dirty work. Honestly. Because then Harry's safer. He's uninvolved, but still informed. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's definitely safer.
Because then you're not going to get caught in the hallway like by Filch, and you don't even have to be near Malfoy. And I'm hoping and assuming that they're going to do a good job of actually telling him what's
Do
going
you think
on.
they would do a good job?
I don't know. They're like already fighting with each other for a random reason. I don't know if that's like a constant thing. But I think Creature is going to find some way to like lie. Because he's lied in the past.
Yeah.
Or he's going to like twist the truth somehow that it feels like a lie.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't trust Creature. I trust Dobby though. Dobby's like, I'll go.
Yeah.
Take me.
It's funny because these two people, it's like the least trustworthy being in this book and the most trustworthy. Like Dobby is the person that you're like, oh, I'll give that guy anything and he'll like, see it through. And then Creature is the opposite. So they balance each other out. So they're one whole entity. Do you not think that there's ethical problems for this?
Why? How so?
Come on, Lizzie.
What? It's a house elf.
Yeah, it's a house elf.
That's their purpose.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, are you pro house elf freedom?
Yes, House Elf Liberation
Okay.
Front. I'm all about the House Elf Liberation Front. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to liberate the house elves to the point where they would actually be okay. Yes, yeah. But
I don't know. I mean, arguably, now that Dobby's the free elf and like he's the trustworthy one, it kind of follows to say that like a free elf is a better elf than a
yeah, that's true.
no.
And he is willingly doing this because of his loyalty for another person. That's why I love Dobby so much, because it's not like he feels forced to do this. There is part of him that feels like he's forced to do this to some extent. But for Dobby, it's not out of that. It's out of his love for someone.
But
that he's doing
Creature
this.
is so loyal too.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
I mean,
just
that's like in
loyal
a house
to a
elf's
different
nature. Yeah,
person.
yeah, he's loyal to a different person. Yeah. No, he's loyal to Harry. He's unwillingly loyal. He
But-
doesn't want to be.
You genuinely feel it's wrong for Harry to like send them on this mission?
Kind of.
That's crazy.
Not with Dobby, because Dobby wants to do this out of his loyalty. Now, is Harry taking advantage of someone who should be his friend in this moment? Like, because Dobby, he's annoying, but what else would you qualify him as? He's like got to be a friend to Harry. So is Harry taking advantage of his friend here? I would say
That's
yes.
what friends are for.
Taking advantage of?
I don't know.
No,
That's what
I'm not-
house elves are for.
Yeah. I think I'm like, I think there's a healthy balance. And I don't see their relationship as very balanced right now. I see Dobby as the giver and Harry as the taker.
I don't like Creature though.
Yeah, me neither. I hate Creature.
So he's kind of like Gollum to me.
Yeah,
now that
yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
But here's the
Or it's
other
like-
issue. Like, I wouldn't trust him with this task. I like, if you're Harry, I'm not giving him any tasks.
But he has to follow you.
Yeah, for sure. But it's still, he had to follow what Sirius told him. So is he going to find loopholes? Exactly what you said. He's going to find loopholes behind this whole thing.
But like you can just do what Harry did and was like, don't communicate,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
talk, don't this, blah blah.
But still, there's got to be, like,
I know.
Creature's mind is racing here. He's like, all right, what loopholes can I find? Here comes Dobby himself right now. What's up, buddy?
I don't know. I didn't even give it a second thought. So there's my 2 cents.
So yeah, okay. This will push us into the last chapter, which is Lord Voldemort's request. Do you have a quick summary of this chapter?
This is another lesson with Dumbledore.
Mm-hmm.
And they start talking about they go back and they backtrack because we go back to the locket thing. But there's this new girl who I don't remember her name. And
Hepzibah Smith?
Yeah, she has all kinds of like antique treasures and stuff. And then
Mhm.
Tom Riddle is going to see her because he works for Borgin and Burke's. And she's like showing off her stuff to him in hopes to, I guess, woo him and like impress him.
Mhm.
And then he, I guess, wants these things to make them into Horcruxes, is what I'm assuming.
Okay.
And then he kills her like 2 days later. She also, I thought she was the fat lady painting for a hot second.
That'd be great if that was Hepzibah. Might be. It might be.
Because it was like pink dress,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And the pink lady, or the fat lady, I thought.
That'd actually be so funny if that was.
Yeah.
And then there is one more part of this chapter.
Where like Tom Riddle goes to Dumbledore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And tries to get the job.
Mm-hmm. And Dumbledore doesn't call him Voldemort. He calls him Tom.
Yep.
To like assert dominance. But then I keep thinking about how after he's Voldemort, Dumbledore's like one of the only people who calls him Voldemort. So then he's like in the opposite way, he's like stripping the name of the power because everybody's scared to like utter the name Voldemort. But then Dumbledore's the only one who says Voldemort because it like takes down his power. The way that saying Tom took down Voldemort's power before he was like fully transformed.
Yeah.
So I thought that's
was a great
interesting.
Point. Dumbledore's just trying to knock people down a few pegs.
Yeah.
Really just Voldemort. That's a great point.
What happened to Dippet? Where did he go? We don't know. Do we know anything about him? Did he come up previously?
He has come up previously in passing.
Because Slughorn, we obviously know what he's up to. What? What is that face? What?
Sorry. The first thing that came up on Google was, according to the film adaptation, Armando Dippet died before his 355th birthday. That's wrong.
That's what you were reacting to?
Yeah.
How is that? What does that mean?
Because he was 355 years old.
Oh, is that not normal for like a wizard? Isn't Dumbledore really old?
Yeah, but he's not 355 old. That's like real old. Dumbledore is like probably in his early hundreds. I'm trying to find out how he died. He was suspected of causing an accident only months before his ancient age flying test on his 355th birthday. Dippet died late in 1992.
Huh.
After his death, the late headmaster was allowed to leave behind an imprint of himself in the form of a portrait mounted on the wall.
Dippet was a headmaster?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was the headmaster before Dumbledore. Huh. I gotta do some research on Dippet. I'll get back to you with that. Why was Armando Dippet the forefront of your mind?
Why was he?
Why was Armando Dippet at the forefront of your mind for this?
Because I know what's going on with Slughorn these days, but I don't know what's going on with Dippet.
With Armando Dippet, he's an integral character.
Because I was wondering like if he had some history that we already knew about, and like maybe he died or he killed himself or something. Because that would also, if he was like strongly affiliated with Tom Riddle, I just feel like that would lead to an interesting life. And there's this line that's like Dumbledore's saying Tom kills for like revenge and then for
Yeah.
gain, and he killed this pink dress lady for gain.
Yeah.
But I was like, why did he kill the Potters? Was that for revenge or for gain?
Good question.
Or is that
What do you
because we
think?
still don't know why they died, right? I still
No.
don't know. Okay.
We kind of have some hints of how they died in the previous book. So the Order of the Phoenix. What are they going to get in the end of the Order of the Phoenix? I already forgot.
I don't know.
They're going to get the prophecy.
Oh yeah.
So there's a prophecy about Harry, and this is before Harry was born.
Okay, yeah. So is he trying to? He's trying to gain power.
Dumble.
Voldemort by killing.
Yeah.
Because I'm just saying if
yeah,
the
yeah,
only
yeah.
options are
Yes.
gains or revenge.
He's trying to destroy something. It's I guess like this is people are gonna rail against me because this isn't like the actual mythology, but when in the Disney movie Hercules, it's like
Love
Hades. I
Hercules.
know it's like great. It's like Hades trying to kill Hercules when he's a child, so he doesn't have to deal with him when he's old.
Yeah.
Probably something similar. Like Voldemort is like, let me kill this child right now, so that like he's the only person that could usurp my throne because of this prophecy. So if I kill him when he's a baby, then we're gonna be good. And boy, does that backfire on him.
And it's like not even 100% that it was Harry
Mhm.
too. It could be Neville.
Could have been Neville. But okay, it's explained in the 5th book that the minute that Voldemort chose to go after Harry, then Harry became the chosen one
Mm-hmm.
because he's literally chosen by Voldemort. Voldemort marked him as his equal. So
Yeah.
that was the moment. So we kind of know like it was to like cut another potential person coming up, but we don't know all the reasons behind it. We don't. Yeah, Voldemort is just a weird dude, so maybe we'll get some of those reasons later on. But yeah.
I have another theory of why Dumbledore's hand is fried.
Okay, hit me with it.
I don't think it's good. But so there's like descriptions of Voldemort coming to Dumbledore and he's
Okay.
like half human, half snake Voldemort type
Yeah.
guy. And I was like, what if Dumbledore just like attempted to make a Horcrux and like, I don't know, he just fried his hand off instead of because like
Whoa.
it's altering Voldemort's appearance whenever he makes a Horcrux.
Mhm.
And he's turning into like this snake thing. I don't know why. But I'm like, maybe Dumbledore's just so old that like Dumbledore tried to make a Horcrux and then it was like the ring and then boom, it just like killed his hand and shriveled it. And he was just like, okay, it definitely is Horcruxes that he made.
How do you make a Horcrux?
I don't know how you make one, but it's like the object that holds your
So
soul.
what object was you trying to make a Horcrux then?
Was Dumbledore trying to make?
Yeah.
I don't know. Originally I thought he was trying to break the ring,
Okay.
which was a Horcrux. You know how I said he was like blocking the spell?
Yeah.
I think these are all so dumb. But I don't know how you make one. It's just like very dark magic.
Okay.
I don't know how one would slice himself into like 7 souls.
Yeah. How does one split the soul?
That is a question I do not know the answer to.
Good. I'm glad you don't.
Maybe you have to like go into a cauldron and get like really like soft and raisiny, and then you can like
You're just talking about a hot tub right now.
yeah, just slice. I don't know,
Interesting idea that Dumbledore is actually trying to make a Horcrux here.
because I feel like he would try it and then be like, "Oh yeah, that was totally what he did,"
Yeah.
and then he'd go and fight him from there. I don't know, just because
But if
Voldemort's
Dumbledore-
altering his appearance and Dumbledore's appearance is.
Interesting. That's a
don't
really you have some fascinating theories. That's an interesting one. I like that.
I don't think I've ever had a correct theory yet.
No, you're wrong. You definitely had some correct theories.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
And
good.
some of them have been proven right. We got to do like a counter for how many times you've been right.
No.
Some of your theories are a little
Like
wild.
30% accuracy.
This is pretty good. That's a decent percentage.
But Jen is unmatched.
Because she gives one prediction every 5 years.
No,
No, her predictions
she's
are
gives a lot.
Yeah, she does.
And they're really close.
Yeah. She's very astute with her predictions. Danny, I mean, your percentage is probably better than Danny because Danny.
Yeah,
just
but
throws
Danny
darts
just
into the
can
board.
come up with 10 things
Yeah.
for every single
Yeah.
detail.
And he's right 1 out of 10 times, but when he's right, darn is he right.
Yeah.
He nails it. It's fun. Why okay, so another side question, and I was always confused about this, but I'm not anymore.
Good.
Obviously.
Proud of you.
Why is Voldemort trying to put his soul into these precious objects? What magical power do these magical objects possess?
I thought the appeal was just that you could have your soul in other places and then it would kind of be like a safety measure because you could hide the objects and then like there's no chance that you're going to find like all 7 of my Horcruxes. So like I'm always going to live even if you kill me.
Yeah.
Because like you could, I guess, kill Voldemort, like the body Voldemort, and then like, oh, there's some Horcrux hiding that you can't find, and then like he's still alive, and he's just this little wispy soul thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was just like a safety measure.
Mm-hmm. I think you're nailing it. Because one thing that I was always confused about is I thought Horcruxes had to be precious objects, and they don't. Which is why Dumbledore is showing Harry how Voldemort is a collector of these rare objects. He's working at Borgin and Burke's because he likes these rare magical objects. And Voldemort is putting parts of his soul into these objects rather than just a random rock he finds on the street.
But that's probably part of his personality that he like wants to
Exactly.
have the best, like all the house stuff.
Yep.
Because I'm guessing because there's 7 of them, right? Because there's 7 books. So Snake, Journal, Harry. As these are my Horcruxes. These are what I think they are. The locket. Maybe the sword of Gryffindor.
Okay.
That ring. I think that's it.
Okay. That wasn't 7.
That was 7.
No, that wasn't.
Yeah, it
I
was.
think that was 5.
How did I get 7 fingers?
No.
Wait, locket. Okay, Snake, Journal, Harry, locket, sword.
Wait, time out. Why do you think? Never mind. Keep going.
Now you mess me up again.
Sorry.
Wait, I have it written down. Okay, Snake, that black ring that cracked and died. Harry, the journal that he was in, the locket, Merop's locket, the cup, because why not? That was in this chapter.
Okay.
And then maybe the sword of Gryffindor, just because that was brought to Harry by the Sorting Hat. And I think I said that like way early on. We had like a Horcrux conversation. I was like, the only thing is like the hat, the sword, and the snake in that book. So maybe the sword. That's 7. Those are my guesses. And then the snake.
Why do you think that it would be 7? Because there's 7
I think
books?
you've told me that.
Dang.
I've been saying 7 this whole time and you haven't questioned it. So yeah, 7. I think you told me that.
Right. Interesting theories, Lizzie. We'll see.
Am I correct?
We'll see.
30% at least. Definitely 30%.
I don't know what to say.
Because I would only need to have 2 right, essentially, to beat
Yeah.
a third of them. And I know the journal is 1, and I know Harry's 1.
How do you know Harry's 1?
Because that's the book of Harry Potter. I don't know. He has to die. That's like the chosen, the whole prophecy thing is like One of you can't live while the other
Neither.
survives.
Yeah, neither can live while the other survives.
So if he kills Harry, then Voldemort can live forever. So then he would be like a Horcrux. And then when he tried to kill him, I think his soul went into him. Because I think that was hinted at. Because Dumbledore was like, well, he
Interesting.
may have left a piece of himself
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, Dumbledore has suggested some of that for sure. So, oh man, I have so many questions. If that's the case, then why doesn't Dumbledore say anything to him? That's my one hole I want to poke into that.
About being a Horcrux?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't even know what a Horcrux is yet.
Dumbledore doesn't?
Harry doesn't.
Okay, so when that time comes, do you think he's going to say that? Harry, by the way.
I don't know. I don't know how that conversation would go over. Well, you're gonna die. Because I still don't understand if you have to like put the Horcruxes together and it's like a puzzle and then like boom, Voldemort comes back full form and then you can kill him. Or you have to like destroy them.
They're just tethers, they're anchors.
But if you destroy the Horcrux, there's nothing the soul is tethered to.
Yes.
And then is he weakened by a seventh?
No.
Oh. That's kind of what I
just
thought
one
was
tether.
happening.
It's like, okay, so it's like a hot air balloon with 7 ropes. You cut one rope and it's still being mounted to the ground. You have to cut all the ropes and then the soul can depart this earth.
So you have to destroy 7 Horcruxes?
Yeah.
So you have to destroy Harry.
If Harry's a Horcrux.
Which he is.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
I do know, obviously.
I think you've told me he is.
I don't know if I told you that. I don't know.
I think so. Just tell me with a straight face that Harry's not a Horcrux. Look me in the eyes and tell me.
Don't do this to me.
Bet you can't.
I think this is actually interesting because I think
change the subject.
No, I'm talking about this. All right, Lizzie. Elizabeth. I think this is interesting because again, this isn't your first time read, this is your second time read. And for some of the synapses in your brain to fire and like because it's fun for me sitting back and watching you do this because some things you are nailing and some things you are so wrong on. But like you're circling your prey. You're like getting closer. You're like almost there. But I'm just not going to help you connect the rest of the dots.
I can't make the kill yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Just prowling around the
You're
perimeter.
almost there. You're almost there. That's why it's going to be fun going through the last book because it's a different experience than Danny and Jen had because they're going in completely blind and you're going in knowing some stuff. So you're going to be able to piece things together a little quicker.
Yeah, I feel like we'll get to like ABC and then I'll be able to like piece together the end better.
Because in the first season, I asked them almost every podcast. I was like, "What are the Horcruxes?" And they had like their top 7 of what they thought it was going to be, and then they had like another. No, but I'm saying, okay, well, so we'll talk about that later on. But they had their top 7, but then they also had like another like 5 that they thought it could potentially be, and they were always rotating things in and out of this like list that they thought. And I was asking them that all the time. I think when it comes down to it, when you are faced with like, okay, what are the Horcruxes? Then you're not going to falter on that. I think you're going to be like, it's this.
Well, I think I had like
this,
half of them right. I feel like I do.
We'll see.
It makes sense to me that the locket and the ring are both Horcruxes because they're Slytherin things.
Okay.
I don't get why he would want the Hufflepuff cup as one.
Wait, again, sorry, I made you do this a lot. Tell me exactly what you think they are again. And okay, so you think the locket?
On my paper.
You think the locket and the cup?
Yeah. Can you see the other side of this?
Yeah.
Look at that. That's crazy. The snake, the basilisk.
Why do you think that's one?
I have no idea. It's just like the only object in the first book. That's probably my least.
Oh, so you think that there's one just in every book?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I feel like.
So give me what it is in the first book. A snake in the first
snake.
book.
But
book
I don't
2.
feel confident. I would say I'm like 10% confident that that's a Horcrux.
Okay.
I'm just picking that based
Interesting.
off the theory
Very
that there
interesting.
might be something hiding in everyone.
Okay.
I'm like 100% confident that the journal's one.
Okay.
I'm like 90% confident that the locket's one.
Okay.
Harry, I'm like 100%. I think you told me that. Or maybe I remember that. Maybe I just remember that from the book.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know if I would tell you that.
What did I say? Snake, ring, Harry, journal. The cup, I'm like 0% confident that that's a
Okay.
Horcrux. Because why is the Hufflepuff cup important? I don't think it is. But then it goes with the house thing of like, if it's the sword, the cup, the ring,
Okay.
then that's all like 3 houses. I don't know what the 4th house would be. Like, what's a
So
Ravenclaw
the
thing?
ring is more so a Gaunt item than a Slytherin item. It is a thing of Slytherin, but it's more like a Gaunt heirloom. You were talking about the locket. The locket is more of a Slytherin thing.
Voldemort's Slytherin's heir, right?
Yeah.
Isn't the ring Slytherin's ring though?
Yeah, it is. This is like maybe a weird point. The Gaunts are probably more proud of the ring. Like the Gaunt is the ring is the Gaunt's ring.
Because the Gaunts
Maybe this is wrong and it's just in my head.
But the Gaunts are like in the Slytherin line, right?
Yes, yeah.
So that would make sense though if it's passed down
So
from Salazar.
the only thing, so it's known as the Ring of
power.
No, yeah, I mean maybe it's known as Marvolo Gaunt's ring, but then it's known as Salazar Slytherin's locket. That's why I think there's like an emphasis in one way or the other. They're still both they're still Slytherin's object.
But the fact that Dumbledore's had this ring for so long.
Yeah. So you think that's Horcrux?
Yeah, and then the fact that it's broken too. I feel like he destroyed it. Like
Okay.
he cut the rope on the hot air balloon. I like that analogy a lot. That was helpful. Thank you.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at.
All right. I like this. This is interesting.
But I don't understand. Like, I kind of want to remove the snake from that list because, like, how is he a snake?
So hold on.
Like,
Hold on. Her
the
sister
math
was a
isn't
witch.
mathing.
I know. So currently, you think it's Snake, Diary, Harry, Locket, Cup, Ring,
And then the Sword of Gryffindor.
and the Sword of Gryffindor.
But I don't like. I say that, but I don't really think that for a lot of them. 50% confidence.
Okay, interesting.
What?
I'm just fascinated with this right now.
Didn't you tell me something about like the snake having a baby? Or like didn't the snake have something to do with like being a person?
Yeah, that's something completely entirely different. This is like after the lore. The snake is something called a maledictus. Is revealed of what a maledictus is in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It's very bizarre magic, but it's a rare blood curse that Nagini was a human being before she became Nagini, and the blood curse kind of like slowly transitions you into a snake, like you're an animagus essentially, until you slowly only be able to take form of an animal. And so Nagini is a woman trapped in a snake's body. That bears no.
What if
bears
Voldemort
significance.
impregnated that lady with the snake?
Okay,
the
here's
Horcrux?
okay. I'm just gonna say, don't cast that from your mind right now because that's not important. There's no part of the story at all of Harry Potter's story that cares about a maledictus. You don't know what a maledictus is until Fantastic Beasts, which are the next movies.
So the snake is not
people had to
Horcrux.
reimagine and reinvent the entire story because they introduced this idea of Maledictus. It messed with people's idea of what the canon of Harry Potter was, and so they fit it in really unique, interesting ways. But it's a complete digress from the story. So cast that from your
Okay.
mind because it's not important at all to this.
Okay.
Just think of Nagini as a normal snake.
Then I don't think it's 1 Horcrux per book.
All right.
Unless like the stone. No, because the journal. Here we go again. Me confusing 2 and 3. Or 1 and 2.
Hold on to your Horcrux discussion because this will come up again
Lost.
as we get deeper in, because I think you're going to get a headache right now from trying to figure all this out. It's fascinating for me where you're coming up with this, but we will get there when we get there. We'll get there when we get there. You know what the movie that's from?
No.
Come on, no one knows what that is. It's from The Incredibles. Sorry, I digress. Why do you think one of the last questions in this chapter? Why do you think Tom wants a job at the school?
To sway the young minds as early on as he can.
Does he really care about that?
Didn't he explain why he wanted to be at the school?
Mhm.
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
I read that today. I don't. Well, he wants to be at the school. I remember this because it's like home to him.
Mm-hmm.
It has ancient magic, and I can't even read my own handwriting. This is sad. Inference?
Yeah.
Is that a reason why?
Casla's infrared inference?
Is that what they said in the book?
No.
I don't know. What is my handwriting?
Incense? I don't know.
Oh, influence.
Influence. Okay. he
Home,
wants to
ancient
influence the
magic,
young
and
minds.
influence. Those are the 3 reasons that Dumbledore said he wants to be at the school. But I don't know. I feel like it's probably just more beneficial to like create Death Eaters as young as possible, and then you build up an army. That's been done in history before. Tried and true.
Interesting. Okay.
And I think Voldemort then cursed the defense against the dark arts position. Because you asked me that. You're like,
Yeah.
can the position be cursed? I was
Yeah.
like, no, how do you do that? But then it's like, duh, Voldemort could do that.
Mm.
So. But I guess he just, like, he didn't even try to become the defense against the dark arts teacher again. He just cursed it and then, like, let it
I'm out.
be its
Yeah.
ruin. Yeah, I don't know.
Up until that point, they haven't been able to keep a teacher for more than a year.
But maybe that was all, like,
Placebo.
planned. No, because of Quirrell. Like, he had his way of getting in eventually. I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been. Actually, it couldn't have been. Because Quirrell wasn't part of Voldemort's posse before he was hired. He was hired by the school. He went off during the summer to go get more experience and fell into Voldemort's clutches.
He goes, I could show and tell your students things they can gain from no other wizard.
Yeah, which is probably
The
true.
dark magic.
Yeah, I think it's dark magic. I also think it's just like his pride. I think, which, you know, he can back some of the stuff up. I think he's just incredibly skilled. So I think he's got some things in the old wheelhouse that other people don't have. And he could definitely, like, you know, show them up on certain things.
Yeah. I really like this. Sorry, am I interrupting you?
No,
I was like
no,
not
no.
even listening.
I am
to
so much
what
more
you're saying.
fascinated in what you have to say than me.
Okay. I don't know where to start with this. Okay, Voldemort's expression, this is a long thing. Voldemort's expression remained impassive as he said, greatness inspires envy. Envy engenders spite. Spite spawns lies. You must know this, Dumbledore. You call it greatness what you've been doing, do you? Asked Dumbledore delicately. Certainly, said Voldemort, and his eyes seemed to burn red. I have experimented. I have pushed the boundaries of magic further, perhaps, than they have ever been pushed. Of some kinds of magic, Dumbledore corrected him quietly. Of some. Of others, you remain, forgive me, woefully ignorant. For the first time, Voldemort smiled. It was a taut leer, an evil thing, more threatening than a look of rage. The old argument, he said softly, but nothing I have seen in the world has supported your famous pronouncements that love is more powerful than my kind of magic, Dumbledore. Perhaps you have been looking in the wrong places.
So good.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
So that's like the root of like their issue, I guess, is that Dumbledore is like still leaning on the whole love thing, and Voldemort's
Yes.
just like, there has to be better,
Yeah.
more powerful, darker things out there.
Yes.
And because Voldemort doesn't have any love, and he's never had love in his life. So to be
capable
the
of it.
greatest wizard in the world and then be deprived of what the other greatest wizard's saying is the most powerful form of magic.
Yeah.
That's why he's like chasing after all these other things. Because
Yes.
he can't, like, he physically like can't coexist with love.
Yeah. You're nailing it.
That's why we gotta love each other,
Fire.
guys. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's a such a great. That's like one of the best lines in the whole series because it really just shows their such odd and drastic ends from each other. Like it doesn't make me pity Voldemort because he's a psychopath, but in part it does because he is incapable of feeling love, I guess. So he's like saying he searched for it, but really he's lying.
Yeah. I think he hasn't really searched for it. I think he's trying to just like replace it and create
agreed,
it
Yeah.
artificially.
Yeah. That's a great point. Because he really doesn't have it in his life at all.
He could have. Like, he could have decided to change right away, but he didn't.
Is someone born or are they made?
I don't know. Isn't this your favorite question? Nurture versus nature?
I mean, this is a great question in this. I don't know. I don't have the psychological experience to be able to back any of that up. I know certain people have told me about some of this stuff. But it's like some of this stuff gets firmed up in your someone, I don't know. I've had someone who's an expert in this tell me psychological personality disorders develop not later on in your life, but they start to trickle in early on, and it's generally like a trauma response to something. And then after that happens and you continue to endure this trauma response, you essentially just get firmed up in it in your like 20s and 30s. And they say after that, then it is impossible to change.
What was that?
My door just sneakily open. I don't think we closed my door all the way.
It looks closed. I thought it was like a knock. I don't see anyone.
No one's knocking at this time.
Anyways, that was a beautiful statement.
So yeah, no, that was a scary statement. So I don't know. I don't really know anything about this, and I don't deign or feign to know anything about this. I don't know the difference between those two words. So yeah, I don't know.
I think it's both. I think he could have turned around,
Yeah.
but I think he was like set on the wrong path so young that like he had all this hatred in him.
Yeah.
That he never wanted to be good. He never like wanted to. Yeah, there's no desire in him to be good.
Yeah.
So.
And it is a beautiful sentiment too that Dumbledore does think he can change. Like there's a point in the end of this where he says, "The time is long gone when I could frighten you with a burning wardrobe and force you to make repayment for your crimes. But I wish I could, Tom. I wish I could."
Mm.
So.
Why did he not just go to the dark wizard school and just world domination like that?
Durmstrang?
Yeah. He could have taught there immediately, the dark arts.
Yeah.
And then he could have just had that be his little HQ.
Okay, that's a discussion that we'll have in the 7th book. For once, for a reason. We'll talk about that when we get there.
Is that a factor in the book?
No, not really.
Oh.
But there's like a side discussion that we can have for it.
Because I keep thinking that. I'm like, why did he go to like the light school and not like the dark school?
It's a great question. It's a really fascinating question.
or gain power of that school, and then now you have like
Yeah.
your stage to set forth.
Yeah.
from.
Think about it. He did go to Hogwarts. Hogwarts is his home. Really his home. I don't think he would want to go to Durmstrang and teach at Durmstrang. He probably could.
I
but
think he'd
he
be
would want to.
wildly successful over there.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think he would be very successful. But I think he wants to go back to his home and take control of his home. Voldemort's powers did not really grow outside of Great Britain. So he didn't really like have, I mean, he had influence, like fear influence on the world, but not really.
What if they just like rallied the global troops?
I
of
know, they
wizards?
should have done
Would it
that.
been-
Everyone get here and we'll knock them out real quick
Yeah,
and we'll
would
be
it
good.
have been so much faster?
I know.
I feel like the people we're dealing with are like very small groups of people
Yeah.
too. There's like 20 Death Eaters.
Yeah, right?
There's like 5 people in the Order
Yeah,
of the Phoenix at
Just
this
call
point.
the rest of the world
Yeah.
and just let's eliminate this guy real quick. Would have been so much smarter. It's a great point, Lizzie. It's a great point. Well, thanks for joining us in this journey of Harry Potter and the First Time Readers.
See ya.
See ya. Bye. Peace. We could just splice that into every beginning of the podcast.